Oh God, and I am makeup free today, you guys. Hello. Hi. Sitting here eating a filet of fish sandwich. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And my fries was kind of cold as hell. They still good. Okay. I've noticed that people have been kind of confused about the ancestors. And I wanted to come as a person that speaks from personal experience of working with several different ancestors from several different regions. Well, not several. African, European, okay, um, Japanese, Native, okay. And I've noticed that people have been talking about the ancestors. And I wanted to come and talk to you guys about what they will or will not do. Okay. Now, an ancestor is pretty much considered anybody. Sorry, my throat is itching. Anybody that they can be deceased or alive, anybody that preceded you. That's what an ancestor is. It could be your auntie, your mother, your grandmother, your great grandmother, your grandfather. Okay. And for a lot of us, like our ancestors are deceased, unfortunately, because I wouldn't care if my grandmother was 250 years old. I wish that she was still here. Okay. But that's neither here nor there. Okay. So the ancestors and how to work with them. This goes for pretty much, and I've had lots of experience. I've had lots of experience being a solitary practitioner for several years by myself, no husband. Okay. And I'm not saying that because I like that, because I like to get my groove on. Okay. For real. No, anyway. I have a lot of experience at this. And so the ancestors, they will help you. The ones that do not want to help you, from my personal experience, I have found that it is good to also work with deities, because deities will actually keep bad ancestors away from you if there are any bad ancestors. Okay. The ancestors, they will not let you do dirty things to people. That's the problem. A lot of people, when they step out into the world, they step out into the world with fear and not trust. Okay. And our ancestors, they have no fear. They already passed through. They already know what it do. So, for example, when I initially started my company, Divine Services Apothecary, if I would have came out with my company acting like a shark with an intent to do things like energy harvest, curse a bunch of people, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I see that person doing that person doing that person doing that. I want to curse all these people. I want to energy harvest from these people. I want a shortcut. I want to do it big real quick. I want to do it real big real quick. I want to start off my business making 100 grand per year or more. And I don't care who I got to step on and who I got to hurt. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. That's what I'm going to do. If I would have stepped out here like that, there's no way that my ancestors would have supported me for 5 minutes. And that's what a lot of people do. Tell me I'm lying. You can't tell me I'm lying. I'm a Cancer. I know what I know. Okay. And that goes for anybody. That goes for anybody. You know, oh, I see that this person over here and I'm black and because they're white and they got 350,000 subscribers and I only got 200. Oh, I got to take from that person. I got to hex that person. I got to curse that person. I want my ancestors to do it. They held us back. They put our people through shit. So I'm going to go and attack this person over here that has 350,000 subscribers because I should have 300. I should have everything. Ancestors make it happen. They're not going to make it happen. Not even your African ancestors are going to make that happen. Same thing if the tables was turned and it were a European person that saw another person that was making it big. Oh, I'm gonna call to my ancestors. Oh yeah, slavery used to be you a slave. I'm gonna take what you got. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. And my ancestors is gonna help me. They not gonna help you. They don't do that. Some of y'all ancestors are trying to keep their hands and their feet clean. They not gonna help you with that. Okay? Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for years by myself with 4 children on my back, and I became a grandmother 3 years ago. So I know what I'm talking about. Okay? They're not going to let you do anything dirty. They're not going to allow you to commit genocide to your own people. They're not going to do it. They can't let you do it. I don't care if it was your great uncle that went out and robbed 1 million buildings when he was alive. He's not going to be able to do that for you. Okay? Now I can tell you that you know, then you have to look at what you're doing, because there's the ancestors that are connected to your bloodline. If you have anything like Native American in your bloodline, they already know about the medicine. They already know about the rituals. They already know about the herbs. So they preceded you and they may be witchy. They're shamanistic. They have shaman qualities. They have the knowledge and they will teach you. But they will not be involved with you trying to do harm to others. That's what the ancestors will not help you with. Now, if you are under attack and someone attacked you, and see, this is where it's very difficult, especially when it comes to YouTube, because The culture on YouTube has nothing to do with real, actual spirituality. It's all about backbiting, piggybacking, clout chasing, and sabotage. Your ancestors don't know nothing about that. That's why they're not touching you. They're not going to help you. Okay? After being in the workforce for over 20 years, I started my company and I did things the honest way. It took me 3 years. It probably would have took less time if I wasn't dealing with family bullcrap, but I was. And I built myself up after 2.5 to 3 years. Okay. And that's why people are confused about the ancestors. Our African ancestors, even though I'm going to keep it a buck with you. And see, sometimes you have to go with spirit. And you can't always assume that, oh, even though we know that blacks get flipped to the side, like they just flip us. Sometimes they do that. They are quicker to do harm to us or to do little things. But sometimes you have to look deeper than skin color. Because you got to understand that you are out here dealing with a lot of people that have different curses and different spirits on them. You have to look at and take account everybody that you deal with, not just on a personal level, but on a business level. And Ancestors was telling me about that today. Even people that you deal with on from a business perspective. I'm not talking about clients in your business. I'm talking about your banking officials, your maintenance men, your plumbers, your mechanics, your car mechanics. Okay? Even your mortgage company. You may call your mortgage company, and the person that works down at the mortgage company is cursed. They don't have the knowledge that you have. And sometimes just speaking to a person or being in communication with a person can bring bad energy to you. Now, does that mean that if a person that you're dealing with, because, honestly, I have business associates that I deal with, and I've had business associates that, they may not necessarily be blessed. They may be taking their crap out on me. You know what I do? I make sure that the work is done so that the situation works out for me, for my best interests. Okay? So that goes for anybody, even, for example, when I purchase a home, okay, and the mortgage company that I'm dealing with, you never know. That person may be having a bad day, or, they may have bad spirits on them. And what I've learned is that speak up about what's happening, but make sure that you do the work. Okay. So a lot of the times it's because work is needed to be done. You may be waiting for somebody. You may be waiting for some paperwork to make something happen. And you can't make that happen until that paperwork come through. And the person that you're looking for the paperwork from, they taking all year. They might be depressed. In order to make it out here in this world, you have to sometimes take responsibility for shit that don't even have nothing to do with you. But if you go ahead and take the lead and handle that, then things will work out for you and you'll be blessed. Okay? You'll be blessed or blissed. whatever word that, y'all like to use. Everything ain't a war. Okay, everything is not a war to where you have to curse everybody and da 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 da. Sometimes that can make it worse. Sometimes people may just be having a bad day, got bad spirits on them, and hell, they may be the holder of the deed to your house. Tell spirit to banish all them bad spirits away so that the situation will work out to your advantage. Okay? The ancestors are not going to help you be dirty. They're not. They're not going to help you do all of that. That's not what the ancestors do. Okay? And sometimes you can create more problems for yourself. And everybody doesn't know the right thing to do at all times. Everybody doesn't. Okay, so you may be asking for something that the ancestors do not and will not do, and neither will your deities. You got to let it go. Sometimes you got to let that go. Okay. Now, I do know that what has been extremely popular has been vampiring off of people. A lot of our ancestors, they don't stand for that, even though there may be certain dark spirits that exist within the Orishas. I don't know every single Orisha. I know the ones that I deal with, and the ones that I deal with, they pretty much clean house is what they do. For example, like Yah, Yimmy Yah, so our ancestors are not going to help you feed off of the life force of people. They're not going to do that because that's not fair to the other person. So it's some stuff that you may be asking for or you're trying to do that they are not going to touch you on. In fact, they will continuously block you. Yeah. And you can't get mad at them because guess what? They're doing that to protect you. They're doing that to protect you. That's why they're doing that. Because sometimes when you make bad decisions to do things that you should not be doing, because there's a lot of people, when we look around at the world, we think, oh, I've got to do this dirty thing or that dirty thing or this dirty thing to do something, and you won't be blessed. Now, sometimes you do have to be assertive. Okay, sometimes you do have to be assertive, but sometimes things can be better handled with intellect and for you to think instead of being all emotional and saying, I got to handle this like this, and that. That's why the ancestors ain't going to do it for you. Because, and a lot of the times, people will do stuff or they'll try to do stuff and they don't realize that when they're doing those things that they're doing, that could lead to your death or sickness. Okay? The ancestors are not down with clout chasing either, especially when it comes to spirituality. They're not down with the clout chasing. They're not down with, like, if you're going to steal something, steal some money from you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm not telling you to do that, but let me rephrase that. For example, you got people out here, they want to chase clout They want to, oh, we competing and we doing this and we doing that. That has no place in the spiritual world. That has no place. In fact, sometimes you may run up on somebody else's energy, and that particular thing, especially when it comes to doing client cases, and this goes for all of the ancestors, white and black. I'm very familiar with all of them because I have European ancestors as well. We all do. Most of us do. Unless you're 100% African. Okay? All of us do. Okay? So, a lot of the stuff that we see, and, sometimes you may get a case that's meant for an actual healer, and you're not a healer. Everybody isn't a spiritual healer. They're not. And you take a case and get very, very sick while you're sitting up here saying, oh, I'm a healer. And your ancestors are saying, no, you're not a healer. You're talented. You're powerful. But you can't sit here and heal somebody of their afflictions. You can give them herbs that can heal them. You can give them education on how to heal themselves. But if you lay hands on that person that's sick, you may get sick. Okay? So now the ancestors will heal you. They'll teach you a lesson. They'll say, okay, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Okay? That's how the ancestors work. I've noticed that a lot of the African American people on here, they are angry at the ancestors because the ancestors, and I was watching somebody who downright was very insulting to the ancestors, but at the same time, I said, is this person telling the truth? And my spirit guide said, yeah, he is. But the problem is that it depends on what you're asking the ancestors for. So our African ancestors, even if a European person called you the N-word, they're not going to just murder them. That's not going to come from the ancestors. They're not just going to murder somebody for calling you out of your name. You see what I'm saying? Okay. And, so they're not stupid. They're not ignorant just because they existed during a certain time. Now, I will tell you that some of y'all do have departed ancestors that they may have went through a very painful experience in life. And you may be carrying those wounds. They may come to you wounded. And they may come to you angry. Don't work with that ancestor then. Okay, so I know that I'm saying, in speaking from personal experience, working with deities, working with ancestors, and living my life. Okay, yeah, I got some Easy Life oil on the way. I think that I ordered from from Original Botanica. But I've had my share of times where I've had problems. But, I know my ancestors, they going to do right by me. They going to make sure that I'm good. Okay, and they tell you, like, what I love about the ancestors, as well as the deities, and this typically comes from them, is the wisdom that they give you. They will come and give you wisdom and give you the key to what you need at that time to resolve your situation and problems if one was to arise. Okay. And you got to understand that when you're living in a world where you're dealing with so many different people, so many different energies, you have to look at everything. You have to look at that the whole picture, 360 degrees. Okay. And that goes for anybody that you're dealing with, business partners, any kind of partner. You have to look at what, so for example, I could have a business associate, right? Somebody that I'm doing business with on any capacity, whether or not it's an insurance agent, real estate agent, and that person may have bad juju on them. And so that may make people feel like I got bad juju on me because I'm dealing with this person that got some real bad stuff on them. So then what do? You have to clear yourself of that person. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense instead of going through all of this and that and going through the rigmarole. Okay. So different situations have to be resolved in different ways. That I can tell you right straight up and down that the mistake that a lot of people are making and what the ancestors are telling me is conflict resolution. And I'm not talking about necessarily the people online because they're at the bottom of the picture, honestly. They are. I'm talking about somebody that you may have conflicts, you know what I'm saying, in your real life. Somebody that the energies may be conflicting for some reason. Even as a psychic reader, when I do readings for people, I have to clear myself of that energy. Especially, I do readings for people all the time that need about $3,000 worth of work. And they don't have it at that time. So I have to clear myself so that I'm not dealing with that. So that, you know what I'm saying? You know, I have to clear and protect myself so that I'm not dealing with that energy. It's not necessarily that it happens automatically, but it can happen. Okay, it can happen sometimes. And, you know, I have had issues with that, you know what I'm saying, to where, you know, somebody needs work done and a spirit will try to come upon me and I'll just banish it through time and through space. It doesn't mean that that spirit is not going to find that person again, because it probably will. Okay. So I know what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing it actually my whole life before I decided to get paid for it. I've been taking on other people's problems since I was a baby. You understand me? Since I was a baby. Okay. So that's why the ancestors are not doing that for you. They're not dirty. A lot of your ancestors have went to certain realms that you're calling to them from. They may not even hear you. Okay? Especially our ancestors that were Christian, Catholic, Baptist. Okay? You know, they committed their lives to certain gods, and now they can't really help you because, I mean, think about it. Can a pagan call to a Christian ancestor and get results? Sometimes. It depends on that relationship, your relationship with that ancestor. If you knew them, that's why sometimes you have to go far back. A lot of the times our ancestors, either we can't see them, we don't even know them, but we know that they're there and we know that they're helping us. Okay. So I noticed that for some reason, you know, people have been, I don't know, upset with the ancestors and stuff. Maybe you're not interpreting their messages. Okay. And if there is an ancestor that's there that's helping you, then appreciate them. You want something that you can't have, that doesn't belong to you. Your ancestors are not going to help you steal from people. They're not. They sitting up there in heaven on it, walking on a sheet of gold. They not gonna help you steal from nobody. They not gonna help you hurt nobody. They not gonna do it. But they will help you heal yourself. They will help you with money. They will help you with money. They will help you buy a house. And then also it depends on how you're trying to bring the ancestor forward. How are you trying to contact them? Are you using copal resin? You can't contact the spirit really. I mean, you can using certain herbs, but you can't contact a spirit. An ancestor is what? A spirit. You can't contact an ancestor without something for them to come through. That's why every time I call to my grandmother, I burn copal resin. And she come through. Y'all be ready for the ancestors to come through and go to war and kill people and all of that stuff. And that's not what they're not going to do that. Now, I will tell you that everybody has vengeful ancestors. Somebody do something to you, something happened to your child, you love your children, then yeah, there are the vengeful warrior ancestors. And in that case, it's different. But if it's something like stability, wealth, money, you may be doing some kind of, which I've seen a lot. I can see people's rituals. People will do things to energy harvest off of other people. Your ancestors is looking at you like, what is this? I'm not going to be a part of this. By a lot of the deities will. And like I said, there's people that are, connecting string to other people, to puppets, and trying to pull on other people's energy. They're not going to let you do that. They're not going to let you steal somebody else's spiritual identity. Why would they need to do that? You're powerful on your own. Okay? So I built my business on the straight and arrow. And, sometimes, there's a lot of people that don't believe in negative karma, and that's fine. But sometimes, you got to realize that when you out here doing stuff and a lot of people are just like, oh, I'm the big kahuna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna take this big bank, take little bank, that kind of stuff. Like that ain't that. What are you doing? Stock trading or something? Like what is this? This is spirituality. Now there's some demons that might help you with that, but demons, if somebody sent a demon over here to me, I give them a glass of this here Alamo Malbec. They like, thank you. Okay, speaking of which, I gotta go. So, that's pretty much it. It's the truth. People hate the truth. People want lies. Okay, keep calling to the ancestors to do dirty, stupid stuff, and we'll see how far you get. Okay. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all later. I'll be back to finish the rest of the ancestor readings. Don't get mad at the ancestors. They not stupid. They not trying to lose their place in heaven where it's peaceful or whatever realm has been created to keep them. And there's nothing wrong with working with deities. Work with a deity then. Okay? All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Blessed be.